Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family. As you can see, the kids are enjoying themselves. There's Sassy, Ramancita, and we are just out in the woods and found this nice little creek, which, there's an abundance of these in the area. Yeah, one thing I was saying to Cindy is, why is it that we always find what looks to be Bigfoot footprints all over the place? Because we have in Nevada, in New Mexico, in North Carolina, in Texas, in Arkansas. We just run into them all the time. Um, and she was saying, because I did share with her, which she knows, I've been fascinated with Bigfoot since I was a little kid. And so this is an area where we have sensed it before. And the legend of Boggy Creek, or Boggy Creek, Boggy Creek, I think. It was a movie that came out many years back. It's basically this area. Um, so, there are and there have been many Bigfoot sightings in this area over time.
Yeah, definitely. So, um, manifestation is really quite a magical thing. Uh, Things that come to you don't just come out of thin air. They come to you because of you. So Mike is always finding these footprints and things of that nature, and he's always picking up something. And he's had this belief since he was little, and this understanding that Bigfoot is very real. These interdimensional creatures are very, very real. And in so many ways, he pulls himself into that reality because of his belief. And the best way I can explain it is if you've ever been out shopping for a new car and you kind of have your eye on a specific type of red car, well, all of a sudden you look around and there's all of these red cars and that specific type too. And it's like, oh, wow, where did these all come from? And the truth is that they have always been there, but you shifted your focus. You shifted that which you want to manifest. So suddenly it's there with you, but it's always been there.
Yeah, and it's the same thing with not seeing things. And a lot of times people will go by something, the same area all the time. They'll never notice something. Somebody might mention something, something happens in the news, and all of a sudden you realize, wow, that's right around the corner for me. It's been there the whole time. I never realized that. So it is part of that. Do. I'm gonna put the footprint that I took a photo of, and I do believe it's a footprint. I mean, I could see the big toe and everything. But we also took a footprint about 25 miles from here, maybe 20 miles from here, um, across the border, and it was pretty clear as day. And we actually heard when we were walking in the woods, we heard like a kind of like a grunting sound, and then I heard something take a stick and whack a tree with it several times. And Bigfoot are known to do those type of things. In North Carolina, something multiple times, three different times, all the time. It was like around 2 or 3 a.m. Something took a branch and whacked the side of the cabin that I was living in. Not only did it whack the side of the cabin, but it left the branch leaning against the cabin. So it was like saying, I'm here. And then I found it was really cold that night. It was like 15, 20 degrees out. This was in the Asheville area, a little town called Clyde, North Carolina. I found a footprint, a single right foot that was deep into the ground. It was deep into the ground. And, I wouldn't leave any impression because the ground was that hard, but this was deep into the ground, one single footprint. And in that cabin, in that area, when I was walking through the woods and back of it, one time I found a series of footprints that led to a tree and then just disappeared. I mean, they just stopped. Where did it go? Did it go up the tree and swing from tree to tree, or did it dematerialize? So this is another fascinating thing. I have seen the tall gray alien before that was assigned to us. I've seen it in my bedroom and I've watched it dematerialize in front of my face. And I recognize that what it did was it went into a meditative state. And once we understand how to do this, how to change our vibrational frequency at will, we will have hit a new stage of being. Yogis can do this. Yogis can, there are yogis, I should say, that have been able to manifest and dematerialize their physical bodies, as well as things like levitate and things that seem to be impossible. But no, it's not outside of the realm of possibility. It's just something that we haven't mastered yet, but other beings have.
Right. And it can be, if you're just getting into this new understanding of the world around you and the different dimensions, it can be a hard pill to swallow, that, thinking that there's footprints up to the point of this tree and then they disappear and the entity just vanishes. But if you simply ask yourself, how many times has science been rewritten? And because science really doesn't have a handle on anything, is this something that's possible? If it's perceivable, it's possible.
Absolutely. And we've seen so many things throughout the years in our travels. Um, Gosh, it's truly been very, very eye-opening. Even though it's one thing again to understand something, understand a concept, understand the reality that there are many beings at many different densities around us all the time. When you experience it yourself, then everything changes. And that's the whole thing about Gnosis and Gnosticism. Not that we are Gnostic per se. We don't really define ourselves with any particular label. But Gnosis is about direct experience. So once you experience something, like you could have somebody that has a Bigfoot encounter, you could, argue with them until you're blue in the face. They're going to believe Bigfoot's out there because they saw it, they felt it, they might have seen it. Look at them. You're not going to convince them otherwise. That's how it is with the concept of Gnosis, in that you experience something yourself, such as the reality of the fact that we're not alone. There are many other beings around us all the time. You sense them. You have an experience, an encounter or two. You just know.
Most people have an encounter with their star beings shortly after awakening, I have noticed. And there are certain things that happen around you that are truly unexplainable. And with my experience, it was this being came straight down from the sky, and as soon as his energy touched the ground, he disappeared. But that was someone from my star family showing themselves deliberately to say, "Hey, we're here. Welcome back. You're awake." And once you see that for your own eyes, there's nobody going to tell me any different.
No, absolutely. Once you know something, you know. And again, these experiences are available to all. It's part of the reason why people don't have experiences, is because their minds have been closed. And sometimes all it takes is just a casual encounter on a dark road with a ghostly apparition or a Bigfoot or a UFO in the sky, and all of a sudden question marks are raised, and then all of a sudden you're finding that you're having more encounters. It's because the veil's been lifted from your eyes, and because you're open to the possibility that there's other beings around us. And we're heading deeper into the Dwapara age, and we're going to be just having what we would call mythical connections and encounters all the time. It's going to be the norm, guys.
Hmm. When you start looking for something, you are going to find it, and that goes for trouble too.
Yeah. As always, guys, much love. Thank you for your support on Ko-Fi and Patreon. We couldn't do it without you guys and your help there, as you see the puppies. See the smile.
See the smiles.
God bless and namaste.
Namaste.